If you had to choose between the 1911 and the CZ75, which would it be? Both models have been around for a very long time and have been tweaked and perfected and are often the choice of top pros. There are a lot of reasons to pick one or to pick the other. Many more than I'll bore you with here, but what if you didn't have to choose? What if there was a pistol that magically morphed the 1911 and the CZ75 together into a single design? Of course, there is such a gun. And unless you've been hiding under a rock or you didn't even read the title of this video, you probably know that I'm talking about the Dan Wesson DWX. I'll do a separate video in the near future where I really compare the details of the DWX against both the CZ75 design and the 1911 design. But in this first look, I really just want to test it as a shooter. The DWX is a 9mm handgun with a designed capacity of 19 rounds in the magazine. 10-round mags are available where necessary. It's constructed of stainless steel and finished with a strong black-colored DLC coating. The manual safety on the DWX is a little snug, brand new out of the box, in the engagement direction. So putting the safety on is a little tough. I'm having a hard time doing it with just my one thumb. I find that I have to kind of use my other hand and cheat. That plunger is pretty tight and is probably going to wear in a little bit, I would think. So not a real big concern there. The main reason it's not a big concern is because taking the safety off is very easy, and that's the important part. It is, of course, an ambidextrous safety. And the trigger, as we might expect, is pretty phenomenal. The weight in the hand is good. It's a heavy handgun, as competitors like, but it's very well balanced. And of course you have that ergonomic grip. The grips are aluminum panels and very nicely checkered. They're red, as standard, as is the K-style aluminum trigger and the magazine base plates. It's a heavy pistol weighing 45 ounces with an empty magazine. As I noted at the range, that weight feels well balanced while shooting. It's a full-size gun, 8.5 inches long, 5.85 inches tall, and 1.5 inches wide. That width is measured at the widest spot, which is across the ambidextrous safety levers. The gun's trimmed out with a nice set of sights. The front sight is a thin fiber optic in green. The rear sight is that sort of Novak style with blackout serrations, and it's fully adjustable. Essentially, it's the same rear sight you'd find on the Shadow 2. It's a single action only pistol, and it bears the 1911 style trigger rather than the CZ type. The trigger is straight with just small comfort curves at the top and the bottom. Slide serrations front and rear provide ample grip for running the slide, and there's about a mile of Picatinny rail under that full-length dust cover. The 4.95-inch bull barrel is very nicely crowned to a deep bevel, and it's bushingless. The guide rod is steel and full length, and it's wrapped in a flat wire recoil spring that is not captured. The generous beaver tail protects against any possibility of bite from the very CZ-like skeletonized hammer. The grip frame of the gun is undoubtedly CZ, so much so that grips are interchangeable between the DWX and many of the CZ models. The absence of a grip safety might also be conspicuous to the 1911 users. The 25 line per inch checkering on both the front strap and the mainspring housing do an excellent job of keeping the gun planted in your hand without any uncomfortable sharpness. And if you learned how to shoot by watching reruns of Miami Vice, there's a bit of checkering on the front of the trigger guard for you. The slide top is also serrated to help reduce glare and add some cosmetic interest. Magazines are compatible with the CZ P10F and the P09. As for shooting the DWX, I had a great time putting it through its paces at the range. I put a few hundred rounds on my steel TA target array, and I shot several rested groups on paper. I had one minor malfunction while shooting groups. One round didn't go fully into battery. All right, a little target practice from 15 yards. I'm going to shoot two different groups, just 5 rounds each. Starting with Sig Sauer Elite Performance. And it is 124 grain V-crown, jacketed hollow point. Going to go to the top. That last round didn't go quite all the way into battery. All right. Now to the lower target, 5 rounds of Hornady Critical Duty, 135 grain, plus P, Flex Lock. All right, there's those. The pistol feels more CZ-like than 1911-like while shooting, with the exception of the trigger. The ergonomics, for me at least, are among the very best. Keeping the CZ grip design was a wise move. Sight picture is good and the sight radius is nice and long. The front blade is thin, as is customary for target pistols, and I'll be honest, that always tests my skill a little bit because all that airspace in the sight picture leaves me room to roam. Sometimes my groups illustrate that. However, I was able to shoot a 5-shot group into one ragged hole with common Federal American Eagle 115 grain ball ammo. It's great to see that a gun coveted for match use likes the blue-collar stuff. The DWX is also optics capable with a pre-cut slide. I say capable and not ready because to mount an optic, you'll need to purchase the correct mounting plate from Dan Wesson. This gun is on loan to me by Dan Wesson, so I won't buy an accessory to do that unless I wind up owning it. At first look and first use, the DWX is everything I expected it to be. Look for more details in an upcoming full review on Guns America and a deeper dive comparing the DWX to the 1911 and probably the CZ-TSO is something I hope to do before long. If you have any questions about that, please ask in the comments and I'll try to address them. The DWX lists for $21.59, which puts it in the elite handgun category. I can tell you, after lots of looking, handling, and shooting, that's where it belongs. The existence of this gun is owed to the acquisition of Dan Wesson firearms by CZ USA some years back, since presumably all of the patents, copyrights, and trademarks can then be shared between the brands. The concept of this gun became possible. Beyond that, both the 1911 design and the CZ75 design are essentially public domain now anyway. However, the new DWX design might very well be protected. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I like to read them and join in from time to time. Keeping content flowing is becoming difficult for me. It's not as easy to get product, and I have some significant life challenges that consume my time and energy. So please forgive the longer periods between videos. And trust me, the YouTube algorithms punish me pretty hard for that as it is. You can really support the channel and help me keep my head above water just by hitting like and being a subscriber. I'm on Patreon if you want to support me that way. And look down in the description of this video and you'll see several discount codes and affiliate links. You can save significant money on products that I use and recommend. And if you think this video was especially helpful to you, or you just want to say thanks, there's a button for that right below the video called YouTube Thanks. It's kind of like leaving a tip if you think you got good service. This is just an opinion. Thanks for watching.